times has been that Osha, the most developed countries are people are made before they enter politics.
Right.
Osha, Donald Trump, let's just use one example, the current president of America. He didn't make his money from politics. He used the money he made as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, to enter politics. And for me, that's a good sign. I respect politicians, parliamentarians, ministers, and what have you. But one question you need to ask always, and I mean, I look up to, I am role models, yeah, Grofa, or asset standards from zero and out from nothing. Because, ubi owa, on shada enye jumada, ura politics more, winyeska, winya position. But that person, he or she, has never managed even a kindergarten. Ubi so owa, from a young age,
Okay.
waye juma, utuya salaries. He's employed people. He's making impacts not just for his family, in his community, and in society. So when you bring someone like that into politics, it's a plus. I always say that. The danger, though, in Africa, and why we are so divided when it comes to politics, and they say, you find a lot of people, and increasingly a lot of young people who enter politics with a different agenda because they see older people who have made it in politics, but forget it, say, he wasn't made because of politics. Ibia the background as an educationist or from a Greek or whatever it is, or the bar or the real politics. You understand? So for me, politics is great, and I think we should all get involved. But if you are involving yourself in politics, what are you bringing on board? Who you teacher, who you doctor, you know, whether it's medical doctor or economic doctor, whatever it is, no. What are you bringing? What are you adding to the body politic? Because you have to contribute. You have to bring something on board to raise that standard and level. So the people you've mentioned, as much as most of them,
your friend, Freddie Champon.
Yeah, Freddie.
He lost.
Our friend, you know.
Our friend.
Yeah.
Our Southeast.
Yeah, which is a surprise because before that, the feedback I was getting and say it's a relatively safe seat.
I wasn't confident to Tiano because based on how Ghana football national teams now call for or no count.
Okay, so it is closer to what I'm trying to say. Say, what if Ebiana Frederick Champon was coming on the back of successes at football level? Ebiana also be to me Abuano say, this is somebody who's accomplished. With me, 1, 2, 3. We know this guy. He's coming from this, you know, track record. Yes, and using that, no, he's established. So he's bringing something to the community that they can benefit from. I'm only saying, sir. I mean, you're saying somebody Tiano because they felt, say, he's not bringing anything, which is unfortunate. Sometimes your failures make you greater with time, no. You can, you know, use that. But with Frederick Champon's results, maybe I was personally very surprised. I know someone like Kojo Frimpong has also won his seat. Wenchi, right? You know, so, and that has been a very difficult journey for him personally. And also, he's a former sports presenter who moved to different areas.
Yeah.
And yes, you know. So build yourself up. When you're made, or at least to a level, when you enter politics, it will help you. Your experience as a banker, as a lawyer, as a sports journalist, as a doctor, whatever it is, when you bring that on board, you make an impact. But if it is that challenge me room to make money, that perception, which unfortunately a lot of Ghanaians now voted because they felt, say, they are taking us for granted. What are you bringing to the table? What expertise, what knowledge, what experience? And they'll look at your track record, especially in countries where politics is more developed than Ghana. And I met my colleague from SABC, South Africa, Air Kasa, and she was asking me about the massive, seats that the National Democratic Congress has won. Is it normal? What was I expecting? I said, no, I wasn't expecting that. I told her straight up, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a win. I was expecting a very tight contest because of the permutations. You know, both sides campaigned very well, aggressively on different policies and what have you. So, no, Bisami, so what happened? And I may say it's possibly because protest votes won, and then the awareness of the electorate, the voters are smarter now.
Right.
Sebi, without disrespecting them, you know, like in the past, but let's say the voters are more aware of the issues. It's gone at the day said, let's talk Banama Nana Darkwa, because he's a fantastic speaker, he does this, they want something different. Gone are the days that Metro Abano Ama Papa Way, because he's from my region or he's from my tribe. That hasn't, I mean, that was very prevalent, but now that has changed. The music has changed. And people, I think this is probably a time where people are going to sit up and say, we can no longer take the voters for granted.
Right.
Say Sikao, say campaign messages. They may listen to you, they may clap, they'll come there, wear your t-shirts and all of it. But when it gets to the time of voting, the conscience and the thinking will be that they be menya kwasi asebi. Mamentoma way, because I know he's bringing this to the table.
The Minister of Youth and Sports, he came under a lot of scrutiny in the build-up to the elections. It's Ansenyoma Biana Nkoyewo, the ministry, but he was able to retain his seat by 62.43%, 18,917, obiting a contender Musa Sibiri Amidu. Surprised the Minister of Youth and Sports kept his seat?
Not surprised, obviously, because, and if you realize, towards the end of we're in December, about a couple of months to the intensity of the campaign time, the minister vanished. He vanished. Did you hear? Have you?
Mr. Jane Jumawa. He abandoned the ministry because that seat was contentious.
Right. And you didn't hear him speak on very critical national issues, especially the Black Stars.
No, he was just focused on retaining that seat.
And that is where there's also a problem, because you see, at that stage, you took your eye off the national duty.
It is part of the reasons that the Black Queens did not get money to prepare for the upcoming African Women's Championship.
So there you go. You took your eye off the national responsibilities that you have, because you have to take care of your seat. And winning it, as I said, I'm not surprised, because he went there to make sure, because they told him, said, look, if you don't come in and do something.
I have a tweet.
Right. So he had to go there and pump in money, pump in resources, and make sure he spends more time there. And that is what has helped him. There will be other factors
and
that
I also
in
think
him.
The decision to maintain him as sports minister
helped,
because South Stadium Assembly Bani is sacrificing NSA guy, and that guy lost his seat at Sege.
And that is politics.
The former NSA boss, he lost in his bid to become an MP in the Sege constituency.
Yeah.
Because he was sacked following the mess at the stadium.
Yeah.
But the minister was kept, allowed to go and campaign, and he won his seat. Now let me also move you to Peter.
And let me quickly come in here with the
minister.
Minister quickly, because Doji came in from the UK. He was the Ghana
High Commissioner's Communications Director.
I was introduced to him by Papa
Usu Ankrah.
Mene Papa Usu Ankrah in the part. Now Doji is a technocrat.
He doesn't know anything about that facility.
Thank you very much. That's the point I was trying to make. Into a sacrificial lamb. Yeah. But the problem with Doji in this no, he's not the type say I can't do it, I don't know anything about it.
He gives it a try.
He gives it a try. That's the kind of it was too late. The environment and the space he found himself, the damage had been done. But they had to sacrifice him as against the sports minister.
Yeah.
So that is the situation. And the minister has gone on to be fine. But at the end of the day,
2 days ago,
at the end of the day, you ask yourself, what are you bringing to the table?
Yeah.
What is the acumen? The sports minister, without being disrespectful,
is he the worst ever sports minister, or one of the worst?
If I say he's the worst ever sports minister, then I would have to break it down. If top of my head, he's performed abysmally, especially with regards to his tenure as a minister, and of course the Black Stars. Not one tournament, not two tournaments, but along a series and a sequence of tournaments and results. So we can talk about that issue. But for me, what was clearly the case is that he abandoned
the job
the post
to go and campaign. And
campaign.
it paid off for him.
It's paid off for him, but at the expense of what? The Black Stars, the national team, maybe the Black Queens, the Maidens.
A week before the elections, the almighty Peter Amewu inaugurated the Hohoi Stadium.
Beautiful complex.
You know, Charlie Pop and pageantry.
Yeah, a lot of
Ketokreku call, former Black Stars players, a ball match.
Yeah.
And in the minds of the Hohoi people, this season, between Omoni Great Olympics, and what's a Bakun about Premier League, and for the Hohoi people, it is their turn to play Premier League football, and they were basically relying on the influence of their bankroller. He has lost his seat and his government is exiting power. How does that shape up in the bid of Hohoi to play Premier League football?
A conscious vote by the people. You know, the Volta region was 100% for the opposition.
And this is the margin. 31,163 to 14,971.
Double, almost. More than that. So, the money he pumped in, the resources, bringing in Abedi Pele.
So how do they even maintain the stadium? And then no make my
good. So these are factors that his opponent must have gone down to the ground and campaigned against, because he was campaigning against a very powerful man. Sure. In himself, Papa no resources.
Yeah.
Or one network or one connection for you to be able to bring these superstars for the opening of your stadium. Abedi Pele is just one name. Other ex-Black Stars players went there. It was an exhibition game. It was one of the biggest events that they had. But still, but still, the people decided, said, thank you. Yes. And that is very interesting. So now, if we can have that replicating across board, or it could also be that Amewu, Fredachi, all the others on the other tickets lost because, I'm saying it could be because of the general performance of your party and not you. It could be. Ebia, Yaya Adrian said we are not happy with the party, so we are not also going to do skirt and blouse. We are just going to go straight and say, you know what? Move on. Let another person come and try. It could be. So as much as Amewu invested, let's give him credit, or invested, Sika. He invested so many things in that region and his constituency, but at the end of the day, the people decided, say, we don't want you, and that is fair game. The voter will never be taken for granted. I think these elections have shown all of us that if in the past you take your voters for granted, going forward into the voting pattern and the emphatic nature of some of the results coming in, it just said the voters have always been smart. Ibia, this is the time they've decided, you know what, let's change it. Let's go back and reset and let them know. And it's also a message to the new incoming government, say they need to also step up, because there will come a time where you go back and you ask for the votes and they'll ask you, what did you do? Your stewardship, Otenyano, and then now, yeah. So the emotional side is there, the practical side is there, the political affiliation. Me a MPP, and I'm always going to vote for MPP regardless. There are some people like that, and it's very difficult to convince them otherwise. Same, me NDC, and I will not. So those who are, you know what, me a MPP, but I'm not happy with my party, I'm not going to vote. Okay, and I'm a NDC, I'm not happy with my party, so I'm going to vote, but I'll vote for the other side. It takes a lot of political maturity, or even personal maturity and emotional intelligence to be able to do that, and we've seen it across board. And for me, it's very, very good for politics. It's very good for politics.
The former deputy minister of youth and sports, or promise Yaw Ampofo no winia America World Cup.
Yeah.
And Ankofo say okay, with a foul visa. So in the turnout of the votes, when you 21,290, representing 44.61%, and Thomas Ampimnyako, and 26,085, representing 54.66%. This is the minister who also supervised the visa scandal at the Commonwealth Games. And Ankofo Twetiano.
I also know it's a double issue.
Not credible enough to have gone, huh?
Use the word credibility. And what does that also tell you? It means that whatever was happening around that time, electorate, they were very much aware of the news. it is social media has also played a role. Back in the day, certain constituencies or maybe villages or whatever it is, omunya access to other information apart from timer. Your friend was parliamentary candidates, no member, no more campaign, no more the leaflets, no more door to door, no more way. That is all they know. That is the only time they get that encounter with their parliamentary candidates.
Right.
But this time around, thanks to social media, the spread of news, they know more about you than you know about yourself. So that could have influenced. There was a video that was circulating, and he was using that message. Say,
oh, yeah, Bobby Accra.
Good, you know, Uncola, 1 M-Peso America, 1 M-Peso yes, 1 M-Peso yes, sir.
Also, American embassy.
And you've not one power. Good. So all these things.
Also, Australia quantum.
Right.
And that's since I was Jenny.
Right. Until that worked against him. And I know before the elections, not very prominent people like Kwesi Chino, others came up, you know, officially and said, look, this is how they think the voting would go, and our party way better. A lot of predictions did not materialize, and for some of us, we decided to get involved because the narrative has been that you've got to be neutral at all times, which is the ethical narrative, which is true. But when you move away from that and you look at your jurisdiction and constituency, Nana Darkwa, when you say, oh, constituency, Nana Edu, oh, constituency, Derek, oh, Josiah, everybody has a constituency. Now, you need to look at your constituency and speak to them and speak. So if your constituency is saying, Nana, we respect you and we trust you so much, step out there for us and do something. You don't have to be a parliamentary candidate. You don't have to necessarily be a party officer. Say, say, but your constituency, and mind you, Nana, your constituency grows as you grow. Your influence grows as you grow.
Right.
You may leave that place, but you may still have that constituency.
Okay.
Into CNN, you may carry that constituency from Max TV or FM to CNN. Likewise, if you BBC now call Al Jazeera, you carry that constituency. That is your currency. And on Adache, when you're going for the big post, you carry that constituency that you brought from here, from there to there, and they will remember what you did for them. It's at times they will tell you what to do.
No.
And then you have to respond and put everything aside. No one take that risk. Who take that risk now? It succeeds. You now multiply your constituency. You may lose some people, but a succeed there, you move on. Then you are moving to the next level. So I believe, say, a lot of people took risks and gambles from the media, from entertainment, music, actors, you know, musicians.
All right, yeah.
You understand? So in the end, the result may favor you or not, but you have to also think about your personal constituency.
Okay, it might be too early to talk about what to expect from the next government with regard to sports. We might have to hold on. Maybe after 7 January we can start talking about that. Okay, yeah, that's it. Yaw Ampofo Ankrah, Nyamisha Obibri, Ebeko Akofa adverts kakra. We are near Babaka messages, then we'll bring to you the predictor, and then we'll continue with the show. I am Max 89.7. That's Yaw Ampofo Ankrah, and I'll say so and also. And then a perspective on the personalities in sports are, or contest in various MP positions are. Ebishu from Ebiso Ewene, or you know, bid no, Yabasisia.
Experience a host of stars in a new football season.